Sup world, it's Tony Online. If you're new here, hit that like button, that subscribe button. Welcome. If you're not new here, hey, welcome back. Y'all know the drill.
Introduce y'all one of them young reckless niggas.
So today we got a little 2-for-1 special going on. I'm gonna do a product review of the wireless microphone from the TikTok shop. Yeah, we still pushing TikTok. And I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit how I got into content creation and this whole digital media game. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is the packaging that it comes inside of. So it comes with 2 microphones and a USB port, an iPhone USB port. You do have the option to choose between an Android and an iPhone. So this is before without the microphone. And this is me recording with the microphone. As you can tell that there is a huge difference. I would definitely encourage using this product if you want to enhance the audio of your content. Also, it cancels like any noise in between the phone and the microphone. So let's get into it. How I got into content creation is a really telling and interesting story. So I grew up in Los Angeles, California. My parents were both, in the industry to a certain degree. My dad is a DJ, a pretty popular DJ. He's always been into the arts, so to speak. My mom, artsy. She did sing for a bit, but my parents always had me in some sort of like modeling or pageant. I told you guys before I won first place in the personality pageant. I used to model as a baby. I was like a Gerber baby. My parents always put emphasis on me being in front of the camera. I remember me being a kid, everyone gathering around during Christmas and me performing in front of everyone. So I've always been a artist, so to speak. So how I actually got into content creation is very interesting. So I would say back in 2006, there was this really, really popular website that a lot of the mainstream artists now who are like moguls and millionaires and pop culture icons, guess MySpace. So I don't know if you know. I don't know if this is public knowledge. So back on MySpace is pretty much how I learned everything as far as like branding and content creation and the digital world and things of this nature. I caught on to the game pretty young. I joined YouTube in 2006. So I do want to put like a trigger warning and a disclaimer out there. Might be kind of like shocking. YouTube likes to demonetize me for shocking content. So, back in the day, there were these like groups on MySpace, similar to a community, a Discord community. It was like there were groups, and in these groups, you could open groups. It was like a public forum or a private forum, just social network at its finest. So, when I was about 12, they were having like these online auditions where basically like if you were attractive enough, you had enough following, you were I guess relevant enough, you would be allowed in these groups. Don't get me wrong, it might seem a bit mundane looking back in retrospect, but a lot of the people who own or operated these MySpace group trains, content creator camps, a lot of them actually became pretty popular mainstream wise, but the game is so different now. It's like, are they really even popular? So I met someone. I was 12. This person was older. I want to say they were over 19. So I had to audition um, to be accepted in this group because this group had a lot of networking opportunities. Like at the time, mind you, like I said, these artists that are mainstream now, that were super, that are super popular now, they started on MySpace. And at the time, like social media exposure was very limited. Like, unless you knew someone in person, and mind you, I'm a child. Like, I can only do so much. I just know that that's what I want to do. A lot of them were already MySpace famous, internet famous. Back then, it was just called being internet famous, and I knew like that's what I want to do. So I auditioned digitally with the digital camera that my parents bought me, and I'm just gonna say no Diddy. So once I auditioned and I was accepted into this group, so to speak, this MySpace group full of influential content creators at the time. So mind you, at the time, like Facebook wasn't a thing. It wasn't popular, at least. Twitter wasn't a thing. All we really had was MySpace, and of course, like the other little smaller social media websites like Coco Space. But who? What? So I want to say, um, from 2006 up until 2009, I went through a lot of vigorous conditioning and learning and auditioning to getting to these groups that had more access, so to speak, to gaining exposure, resources. So from about 2006 to 2009, I went through a lot of training and conditioning and just learning social media, the digital game, how to take selfies, how to Photoshop, how to build a brand, how to build a website, a MySpace website from the ground up, wording, scripting. But I do want to say that the people who ran these MySpace groups, so to speak, they were a bit older. They were a lot older actually, and a lot of the people that were in these groups, the talent, were underage, and a lot of things went down in these groups. Looking back in retrospect, like why are these people not in jail? One of them ended up being sent to jail. His name is John Hawk, but John Hawk is just the tip of the iceberg. Um, Throughout this conditioning and this training, so to speak, I got in a lot of trouble, like from my parents. I received a lot of backlash in the beginning from my parents because it's like, bro, you're like 12, 13. Why are you this precocious? Where are you learning this from? Back then, social media was just like a hobby or something more so fun, so to speak. Um, what Instagram and Twitter is, or Instagram and TikTok is to the 12-year-olds today was the MySpace to me when I was 12, when I was 13. I learned a lot, and what I learned has definitely prepared me and definitely has allowed me to become, like, ahead of the curve, so to speak. I've always known that I wanted to make content and connect with people and show my creativity and things of that nature. But like back then, exposure was so limited. So boom. So by Facebook, I already know how to build a brand, build a network, take pictures, model, videograph, all of that. So that was something that I did for fun. Like back when you're a teenager, when I was a teenager, so to speak, I did a lot of content. It was more so like for fun, but I feel like that experience kind of planted the seed as far as building a brand and being an entity and making money from content creation. All of that all of that planted a seed that kind of prepared me for that. So by the time Instagram came out, I was already on top of it, taking selfies, going viral, da 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 da. It wasn't until I want to say after just me being a natural content creator and millennial, so to speak. It wasn't until really like last year, after going viral on Twitter, after building my following, after getting to know people, after going to industry parties, after networking, after just being a millennial. It really wasn't until last year where I decided like I'm gonna take this seriously. So I posted a video on TikTok, reached about 50K, and I'm like, I'm gonna turn this 50K into a plethora of 50Ks. So once I saw that niche, I took advantage of it. Um, and I haven't stopped ever since, and I'm not gonna stop. Um, yeah. So this is an awesome microphone, and I just want to let you all know how I kind of got into content creation and things of that nature. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Tap in with my content. My link tree should be in the bio of this video, if not the actual bio of my website, YouTube channel, page, whatever. Um, yeah, I'm out, y'all.